Hi, welcome to my channel. I am so excited today to share with you how I make oatmeal yogurt. I'm excited to share this with you today because I can make this in my Oster blender without having to wash another pan or dish. I will be making about 6 cups. And to do this, I will start with 2 cups of oatmeal and some starter, a 2-quart jar, and I will boil some water that I'll add to the blender a little later. So I first like to start by blending the oatmeal into a flour, so I'm going to do that now. I like to make a flour first because I want the consistency of the oat yogurt to be as smooth as possible, and that's my theory. I added a cup of water. I am going to blend this at the same time that I boil 3 cups of water. I want to boil the water at the same time because the blender will also start to cook the oatmeal if it's blending too long, waiting for the water to boil. I boil the water to cook the oatmeal. If I do not do that and try to have like a raw oatmeal or make yogurt without boiling, then it has like a bitter taste, and so basically we're going to cook the oatmeal but just in the blender. I hope you can see the texture is grainy, and I want to get this as smooth as possible. And what is also cool about making oatmeal yogurt this way is you don't need to strain out the fiber. At least I don't. I like it how it comes out without having to strain the oatmeal milk out. I want the consistency to be really creamy, and so I've probably blended this a couple of minutes. Water to kind of cool this down because this was very thick and wasn't blending so well, so needed some more fluid. Right now I'm going to let this sit for about an hour, then check the temperature. This is really hot, too hot to add the starter to right now. Previously, before I added the hot water, I added more water to equal about 2 cups of water. This is the first time I've made 6 cups at a time. I usually make 4 cups at a time, and I really like this to be really blended well. This is more like a yogurt drink consistency when this is finished. So this starter is from a previous batch which I made, and I froze this, and I learned that yogurt live cultures can survive being frozen. So this is the first time I'm using a frozen culture, so we'll see how that turns out. I believe this will work fine. An additional important note is that the yogurt or the oatmeal blend, which I just made, needs to be below 120 degrees, is my understanding, and which has also worked for me in order for the culture to develop. I do not have a yogurt maker, and this is still wintertime, so what I do is I turn on my oven to below 150 degrees, and that seems to work really well to help the culture develop. So you can make this in your oven if the temperature can just be low enough. I need to put this jar on the bottom rack so this will fit. So I'm just reusing some parchment paper, and I put the parchment paper there in case it spills. So it has overflown before for some reason. Maybe some yeast was in the oatmeal, I'm not sure. And also make sure your containers are very clean. I don't sterilize my containers, and I guess I take that risk. So I also suggest doing your own research to decide what you want to do or what is best for you. Make sure you use purified water. You definitely do not want to use tap water. The chemicals may kill the live culture, and so use some type of purified water. I also wanted to tell you the reason that I use water to begin with. I add just cool water when I'm blending this to begin with, is also so I'm not pouring boiling hot water straight into the blender. There is a rubber seal which I want to protect from melting. So that's another reason that I start with cold water and the dry oatmeal before I add the boiling water. This is also pretty much finished. When the temperature is below 120 degrees, then I'll add the starter and put this oatmeal mix into this jar and put it in the oven. And I'll just keep it there overnight and check the sourness in the morning. Then I just store this in the fridge. So with this method, I only will need to wash the blender when I am finished, and I didn't need to strain out the milk. The consistency will be kind of gooey from the oatmeal. I really like that consistency for a lot of things though. I like a gooey consistency for making sauces. I like to steam or just cook some broccoli. I actually like my broccoli blackened a little bit, and then I will use this with some nutritional yeast and garlic and a little salt and whatever other flavorings, and to me is like a creamy Alfredo type of sauce. And this is just a really nice consistency for me. As you can see, it's pretty thin, and that's fine for me. I will also pour this with berries and some stevia, and it will be even more, usually even more thin, and that's still fine for me. I just like the sour taste. Originally, I started, my first starter was with just some Greek yogurt, plain, whole fat. I really like that yogurt. I started with that culture, and then the culture I'm putting in today is just going to be from my last oatmeal yogurt that I made. About 30 minutes later, the temperature is still above 120, so probably another half hour. Hopefully the temperature will be lower. I like to do this all in the blender because then I can only have to clean one thing, and additionally I want to have this cool off in the blender so I can use the blender to mix up the culture starter. The net calories for this yogurt will be about 50 calories per cup, so that is really low. The temperature of the yogurt is now a little below 120 degrees, so I'm going to go ahead and add the starter and mix that up. What is important is that you don't tighten the top all the way because air needs to escape a bit. So my yogurt is finished except for the wait time, and I will put this in the fridge tomorrow morning, and that will be sufficient for me. Thank you for watching, and I'd love you to please like and subscribe. That would really encourage me, and thank you so very much.